Hi, it's Kane Hodder, Jason from Friday the 13th. You're watching Slash and Cast. Keep watching, or I'll kill you and your whole family.
What's going on, horror fans? Welcome to another episode of Slash and Cast. My name is Riley, that is Nick, and before we jump into our news of the day, we want to mention the fact that those that are looking to play Friday the 13th the game with us, you can join all of our communities across Xbox, PS4, and Steam. Now, they are all Slash and Cast fans, with no apostrophe before the end, except PS4. PS4, there's apostrophe before the end. We should have stayed consistent with that.
Sorry.
Sorry. But yeah, go join there. We will be playing across all platforms, and that's the way to, to hit us up and to play with fans. Also, if you're looking to actually talk with us personally and, chat with us a little bit, head over to the Friday the 13th official Discord, run by our buddy Rainskull. Really fun community. It's a lot nicer and more suggestive than other communities. Maybe.
I mean, yeah, it's fan run, but the developers from Gun and Ilphonic are also in there pretty often.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. A couple good streamers in there.
Yeah, and they drop fun exclusives in there quite a bit too.
Usually, Wes will post something in there, and then like 2 minutes later, it'll get posted on Twitter.
Right. Yeah, and then it gives you the ability to chat, do voice chat as well, which we've been doing a lot lately. So that's a great time to come and talk to us.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
A lot of fun. Good stuff. All right, with that, let's go ahead and move on to our Friday the 13th the game news, of course. Now, we just a couple episodes ago broke down the counselor stats. We are now going to break down the Jason stats, their strengths and their weaknesses. So let's start with, of course, J2. Now, the strengths for J2, the ability to run, pretty self-explanatory. He can run. Traps, this Jason currently starts with 6 traps. Now, that's nice. It's nice to have that on you. Not sure if that number is going to change yet, but right now it is 6. And for Morph, his Morph ability, he has a faster cooldown, so you can morph more frequently throughout the game. But there are some weaknesses as well, including a slower cooldown on the shift ability, so you won't be able to use that one quite as much. The defense is a little bit lower, as the lower HP and a lower chance to successfully block attacks, and water speed is tremendously slow with J2. But, I still want to play with him. It seems okay to me.
Yeah. So for J3, some strengths. He can run, also, the same speed as J2. His weapon strength, it can deal more damage with his weapon against counselors, which is nice. And grip strength, it is harder to wiggle out of Jason's grasp once he grabs you. Now, the weaknesses for him, stun resistance, he gets stunned more frequently than others. Sense, once Sense is activated, it doesn't last very long for this Jason. And the stalk ability, similar to Sense, it doesn't last that long. Every Jason has its trade-offs.
Yeah, exactly. So let's go and move on to J6. Now, the strengths of J6, of course, throwing knives, as he's the only Jason that actually starts with knives during the game. And he starts with 4, okay? But he still has the ability to find more during the match. His sensibility, it lasts longer once activated. And his shift ability has a faster cooldown than other Jasons. But his weaknesses, he does have a lower HP and a lower chance to successfully block attacks with his defense. He does not have the ability to run, but he has a fast walk similar to like J7, of course, but he cannot run like J2 and J3. And he does have the Morph ability. The cooldown is it does not last as long, or like his ability does not, you cannot use your ability as much. The cooldown takes longer, so you will not be able to morph as much with J6. But yeah. J6 is one of the coolest ones to me, especially that throwing knives are super important, right. I think, especially when you have really fast counselors. So I think J6 is going to be really crucial.
Right, and the other Jasons have to find them.
Right. Yeah, so J6 having the ability to start with them is great, too. All right, but J7, all right? Strengths for J7, Sense, faster cooldown with Sense. Water speed is very fast, and that makes complete sense. Grip strength is, it's more difficult for the counselors to wiggle out of the J7 grip strength. Weaknesses, although it can't run. J7 cannot run. Traps, this Jason only has 2 traps to use. That could be killer too. I mean, you're cutting your traps in half there.
Yeah.
And shift, there's a slower cooldown on the shift ability. Not bad. This is your powerhouse Jason overall, really.
Right. J8. I think it's our favorite Jason. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
And our strengths, water speed. It is very fast in water, slightly faster than the boat. Okay. Makes sense.
You should keep that in mind, by the way.
Makes sense. Destruction. Reduced amount of hits required to break doors and walls. And stock. This Jason can remain in stock longer than others.
That's also very important, too.
Right, yeah. But its weaknesses, once sense is activated, it doesn't last very long. It can't run. It can fast walk, but it cannot run. And grip strength, counselors can break free from this Jason's grasp easier than the others.
Even with the strength weaknesses for J8, it also remains a top counselor I want to use, or top Jason I want to use.
Yeah.
It seems extremely effective and really great for strategy play.
Yeah.
All right, let's go and move on to J9. J9 was strengths, shift, faster cooldown, and the ability for shift. Has great stun resistance. The chance that Jason will be stunned is down tremendously with J9. And his stalk ability, you're able to remain in stalk for a longer time, which, once again, that's important, okay? Now, weaknesses, can't run, okay? It has a fast walk, just can't run like J2 and J3. Less hit points. Jason has a lower HP than other Jasons. Okay. So, I mean, that could mess you up, especially with throwing knives. So, and traps, as Jason only has 2 traps as well. So, there's some big weaknesses in there for J9, but this is another one that's very powerhouse driven. So, let's move on to the big beast. All right, Savini. All right, Savini's Jason strengths, faster cooldown. Okay, once again, faster cooldown for shift. Just very similar to the other ones. Weapon strength is quite a bit higher. Okay, especially with people with tridents. I mean, you think it would do some damage. And destruction, okay, reduced amount of hits required to break down doors and walls. This is very key before rage. So, having the ability to break stuff down faster before rage hits at the end of the game is great.
Yeah.
But weaknesses, water speed, very slow in the water. He's on fire.
Yeah.
he's on fire. It makes sense, right? Can't run, of course, but it can fast walk still. And grip strength is down. Counselors can break free a little bit easier. But all around, man, Savini's Jason seems pretty awesome. And I think Savini's Jason will shine at the beginning of games. But you'll really start to see the weaknesses once you get to the end and, rage is in effect and whatnot.
Right. And we're going to run all of these Jasons all the time.
Yeah.
Variety is key. Right. And then once you find one that you may like the most, you'll grab to that one. Right now, for us, it looks like J8, not just because it looks great. It seems like its strengths and weaknesses kind of, make it the best all around for our playstyle.
Totally digging J8. So, but definitely going to be hopping on all of them, and we're going to try having a kill montage out right away for Savini's Jason, so keep an eye out for that at launch. All right, we have one big topic for Friday the 13th game as well, and that is the Pamela tapes that just came out. So let's go and take a listen to those before we start discussing them. Let's listen to Volume 1 and Volume 2 of Pamela's tapes that will be found in the game.
Okay, the tape is rolling.
Pamela.
Excuse me, ma'am? She said Pamela. Maybe she prefers not being called Mrs. Voorhees.
Mrs. Voorhees, I'm Police Chief Tom Kelly. Detective Madry and I want to ask you a few questions, if that's all right.
Pamela, we're very sorry about the loss of your son, and we appreciate you.
His name was Jason.
Yes, ma'am. Jason. I understand he was 12 years old, and he was not capable of normal. The report says his mind was...
There is nothing wrong with my son. Jason is a wonderful boy. He just needs to be watched over. I always have done that. I've always protected him. Always. My Jason is very special.
Yes, ma'am, I'm sure he was. I understand you are the cook at Camp Crystal Lake, and...
I was promised that these counselors were responsible. That's why I took the job. These Christian teenagers would help look after my son while I worked. That's why I took this job. I was lied to.
Mrs. Voorhees, I'm sure these kids were just...
Fucking. That's what they were doing. That's what all of them were doing.
No, ma'am. The counselors were...
Were you there? No, you were not.
Mrs. Voorhees, please.
I was there, doing my job, washing the dishes of these selfish, irresponsible...
Ma'am, you need to...
You don't understand. I heard him. I heard my Jason calling for me from the lake. He was calling for his mother.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah. There's a lot to take in there. So first of all, we understand that the tapes are coming from like an interrogation process she's going through after the death of Jason. And, you know, there's not much story. As you know, as a fan of Friday the 13th and understanding the story that's behind that, there's not much we're getting there that's like stuff we don't know before, but it is extremely interesting to actually hear these tapes. And, you know, the actors that are playing these characters are nailing it, you know, especially considering the voice of Pamela. And, you know, that's something within this, you know, the fan base sitting behind these movies, that's something that had to be done properly and was very sensitive to fans. Yeah. And it's done really well, and it's really cool to listen to it. And, you know, the part where there's like, well, the counselors were fucking, like, that's like, oh, Jesus.
Wow.
You know, you're just calling them out, yeah.
Yeah, and then the next line, she interrupts him with a scream. I mean, that really caught me off guard.
Yeah. So like a blood-curdling scream. Like,
yeah.
geez.
I mean, it was really well done.
Yeah, seriously. Now, you know, what will come with these tapes? Now, obviously, these are Volume 1 and Volume 2, and, you know, there's more you'll find throughout playing the game. But are we going to get some, like, exclusive information? Like, is it going to try to come with backstory, or is it going to come with all stuff we already know? We're just seeing it from that perspective. You know, there's some big Easter eggs that I imagine are going to come with the Pamela tapes.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't know anything. Maybe it determines the way to kill Jason at the end.
Right.
Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's just, you know, fun for the fans. It'll help you get a trophy. But, you know, they love to hide Easter eggs.
Yeah. And, you know, the thing, they did take the time to pay everybody, and they spent the money to get these done and in the game.
Yeah, why would it be for nothing?
You're right. But
just for pure entertainment.
Yeah. But, you know, it could be. And I'm totally okay with that.
Yeah.
Because they're cool, and they're really interesting to listen to. So excited to see what comes of that in the game. Definitely we'll be posting all these on the channel once we find them. Okay. So, once again, at launch, look out for those videos. With that, let's go ahead and move on to killer questions. Today we have 3 killer questions. The first one coming from our buddy Rainskull, huh? Now, during the F13 beta, did you prefer playing as Jason or a counselor? Well, that's a great question. Seriously, I don't know if I have an answer to this.
You know, our beta experience, we've said, was not ideal. Of course,
that was our fault, but
it was mostly my fault. My computer power supply was faulty, so it would not load in a game. But as you know, the servers didn't work very well at first. They did get better about halfway through the beta. I probably only played as Jason once in Publix.
I think I played as Jason 3 times. The first time I played with Jason was amazing. I did kill everybody, so I was really proud of that situation. But yeah, I think I like playing more as a counselor. The idea, the suspense, I love that. I love that feeling, knowing that Jason's coming, and then, you know, trying to find a way to work together, how to get out of the situations quickly. So totally dig that, but I also love making people feel that suspense.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's hard to say which one I like more, but yeah, I enjoy it regardless. Both were a blast, but I say during the beta experience, I would say counselor.
I agree, yeah.
A lot of fun. All right, let's move on to our next question, which comes from Intern. Do you think there will ever be another F13 reboot? You know, this is a tough question because obviously we just got another canceled Friday the 13th film. I do think there's going to be one. At some point, there's going to be another Friday the 13th film, especially with the game and the fact that it's, you know, it's going to bring some life back to this franchise. And it's bringing, you can even see in the Discord and all these community groups, the people that have never seen the movies are hopping on to this, you know, bandwagon Friday the 13th community. So you're bringing in a whole new generation of people that have never seen the movies before. So now there's a whole other new fan base that wants to see a new movie.
Yeah.
So why not? You know, the money's there. I'll put this out there though. Okay, $2 million. That's it. $2 million. We can make one of the best Friday the 13th films in the last 30 years. Yeah. Whoever's listening, whether that's, you know, from whoever's going to fight for the rights next, because that's about to go through that battle again soon. Hit me up, okay? You can check out our fan film, which we did with negative $500. So please, you know, we can make that happen for you. All right, just putting it out there. Check out my resume, my reel.
You know, we wouldn't be against tweeting at him.
If you want to share this video with everybody, you know.
Please.
All right, let's go and move on to our next question. That comes from Mind of Jigsaw or our buddy Joe. Now, at what age did horror impact your life, and what movie was it?
Now, I'll go first.
Please.
I was never that big horror movie fan. I would watch, Halloween on Halloween. I'd watch Friday the 13th, maybe once a year. I wasn't that huge, big horror fan. Once I started our first podcast, the MWM Project, with this man right here, he forced me to watch horror movies. The movie that got me, and this was only maybe 3 years ago, the movie that got me was Scream. Scream was just so fun, so 90s, so nostalgic, just so fun. And I think that is the one movie that really, finally drew me in.
Right. It's one of the fans that you like. I know you did last summer as well.
Yes.
So, yeah, the 90s movies sucked him in, and now it's just going to keep on growing.
Yeah.
Okay, I always say that I was cursed as a child, that my parents forced me to watch these movies. I was 3 years old, maybe actually younger. It's probably two or three when I watched my first horror movies. Definitely was Friday the 13th actually what dragged me into be a horror fan. I remember at the age of 4, I've shown this picture. I actually put this in the Discord recently. You could definitely go check out the picture now. The fact that when I was at 4, I got a Freddy doll and a Ghostface doll for my birthday, and then there's pictures of me walking around in a Jason costume at that age as well. I used to scare all the other kids in like our class, like in preschool and whatnot. Yeah, that's my childhood in a nutshell. So Friday the 13th is what got me in. The franchise itself got me into horror films. As for what got me into filmmaking was Scream and Halloween. I don't really know which one takes the trophy on that one, but those are the two that I was like, I want to make that. And when it came to fan films, Halloween was the first thing I ever addressed to do a fan film for. So, yeah. So about 3 or 4 when it comes to horror movies. My God. Sad child. No.
Great question.
No, yeah. Just, I'm glad that happened because I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for my awkward childhood. So there you go. If you want to send in a question, 4 killer questions, head over to Twitter and use #slashingcast and submit any question you want. Horror theme is probably your best bet if you want to make it on the show. But yeah, we have a lot of fun answering these, and go crazy. Go crazy. All right, with that, let's go ahead and move on to our next topic, that is Scream, the TV series. Now, we talked about this recently. The fact that it was indeed being rebooted. Okay, so they're throwing season 1 and season 2 out the window. Okay, and now we're getting a brand new rebooted season 3, which does in fact mean a new cast and a new storyline. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, awfully ballsy. I'm surprised they didn't just cancel the show in general, especially because season 2, ratings-wise, didn't do too bad. Obviously their view, like they dropped in views, and just television in general is dropping. So that's something to expect in general. I mean, we're seeing that with The Walking Dead as well.
Yeah.
But now the new showrunner will be Brett Matthews, who wrote The Vampire Diaries and Supernatural. So we're going to go watch Supernatural, right, Nick?
Maybe.
All right, okay. But yeah, he wrote Supernatural. So Matthews will be joined by Queen Latifah. Interesting choice when it comes to that experience. I don't really know what to say about that yet. I'm just going to leave that until I get more news about what they're pushing forward storyline-wise. But I will say that THR reports that the new season will attempt to be less white. Quote, less white. That makes me nervous. I totally understand. I mean, I understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
But it also makes it seem like there's going to be a political agenda sitting behind the Scream series, and I don't want that. I promise that will end up throwing away a franchise, a beloved franchise. So if we're going to go into a political agenda to target young audiences, that I don't know.
Was it really that much of a problem to begin with?
Yeah, I can't say that I ever heard anybody complaining about race issues within, the show and whatnot, even like political issues in general within the show. So I don't really understand that change, and I don't see how it will progress the series at all either. So if you're going to go ahead and take the time and money to reboot a new season, throw all your old cast away, you might as well try to progress it rather than taking a drastic political turn that no matter what you do, is going to cause some sort of extreme diversity within your audience.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just don't see that leading to something great for them.
Yeah. We'll have to see about that.
Yeah. They are still crediting Wes Craven as a producer.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Wes Craven. So, good for them, I suppose.
Yeah.
But once again, putting his name on a political agenda piece is nerve-wracking to me. I don't want his name to be thrown in the mud like that.
Right.
But hey.
Insiders are saying that the rebooted season 3 will, quote, be more inclusive as the series looks to put a new spin on a proved concept that has not yet been embraced on the small screen. Okay.
What does that even mean?
Yeah.
That seems like just a random quote they're throwing out to just say, hey, we're doing this. And also kind of pushes that political agenda type thing again.
Yeah.
So, I don't really know. What is interesting to me within that quote is a proved concept that has not been embraced on the small screen. So at some point it's been embraced on the big screen, I'm guessing. I don't know where they're taking that. I don't know what their goal is there. But hey, I'm sure there will be more news to come.
We'll just have to see.
Yeah. At this time, there is no premiere date set for Scream Season 3. So yeah, we don't know. Hell, it could be a couple years for all we know. No idea. Have no idea what the story's going to be, and have no idea of a release date at this time. So no idea on cast details, story details, nothing. But yeah, we know they're taking that less white approach to things, I suppose. All right, let's go ahead and move on to our next topic. That is Insidious Chapter 4. We have not talked about Insidious Chapter 4 for a while. The last time we did, we discussed that, the release date was supposed to be this year, okay?
Yeah.
Now, as the fourth chapter was set to release this October, okay, has now been pushed back until January 5th of 2018. Man, that's kind of a letdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no real... I don't know what the reason is behind it, so...
Right. There's no timeline to the story, for the story, but we can expect to see either a prequel that would take place before Elise helped out the Lambert family, or a sequel with Elise continuing on in the further.
Right. So the first still we got, which we discussed in the show several episodes back, was, Elise... the older Elise with younger Elise, right? So, that could be in the further as a sequel, but it could definitely be a prequel as well. I don't know where they're going with that.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is this time around, Winnell, who directed Insidious Chapter 3, and he also wrote Insidious Chapter 1 and 2. He's also worked alongside with James Wan in damn near everything he's done. He is still writing a screenplay, but this time it's for Adam Robital. So Adam Robital is directing. So that's interesting because, changing everything in the series, really. Robital previously directed The Taking of Deborah Logan, which personally I don't like. But yeah, so there's still hope there for sure. And, Winnell is a fantastic writer. Mm-hmm. The fact that Lee is still involved is a good thing. And, as long as, Robital understands his creative control, I can't see him really failing with the Lee Winnell script.
Right.
So... some faith in there, but it is a little nerve-wracking that it was delayed. Hey, what are you going to do? Actually, not so much that it was delayed, because we see delays and everything all the time, like Star Wars, being delayed to Christmas, right? What makes me nervous is that it is now a January release.
Yep.
And, when's the last time we've seen a good horror movie drop in January, especially this early in January, that's been good, The only thing that's even been close in that area is Split, right? But it was late January, and that was because it was off a delay as well.
Was Get Out February?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So
that would have been like the big exception.
Right.
Because Get Out was a good film. But yeah, Split, wasn't that bad. But everything else, yeah.
Yeah, we've seen Texas Chainsaw recently. What is the Suicide Forest? Is that what it's called? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Suicide Forest, that was a mess. So yeah, the January release is what makes me nervous compared to the October release, which is your epic horror month, of course. Let's hope for the best. I'm really hoping that Insidious 4 is good because the trilogy that it was is good. But we said that they're cash grabbing pretty hard right now to keep the franchise alive.
Yeah.
That's something you would expect.
Yep.
Let's go and move on to our last topic of the day, which this one's a positive one. So, Teen Wolf, Scream Factory is happening. Scream Factory has done some killer releases, okay, including like the Halloween box set that we've been wanting for years. That was Scream Factory that finally put that together. Well, Shout Factory, but set for release of August 8th, Scream Factory has just provided the first details and the first look at the collector's Blu-ray edition for the 1985's Teen Wolf and the 1987's Teen Wolf 2. Now, both Blu-rays will come with a slipcover and they feature newly commissioned artwork. which these intentionally go together, by the way.
Yeah.
And they look fantastic together. Now, these are from Paul Shipper. As usual, the reverse side of the wraps will showcase the original theatrical poster and their original designs.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's something that's always great about Shout Factory and Scream Factory is, you have things to work with, right? We just got the Carrie one recently, and the Carrie one's beautiful. You can't see, but there's a poster like right here of one of the Carrie posters that came with it.
And that's not even the good one.
Yeah, that's not even the good one. We keep the good one framed. But no, we don't want to mess that one up. Now, bonus features and specs are still in progress and will be announced sometime in June. With Teen Wolf getting a new film transfer. Nice.
So the pre-order price is $28.
Which is not bad, by the way.
Exactly. And if you order from shoutfactory.com, you get a free 18 by 24 poster with brand new artwork. Available while supplies last, of course. And also, you'll get it shipped 2 weeks early. So you might as well pre-order now if you're a Teen Wolf fan.
Yeah, for sure. And 28's for sure 28's not bad, considering the fact that new Blu-rays still sell at $25 each. And, they don't come with extra slipcovers. They don't come with extra posters.
Right. And then if you miss the pre-order, the regular sale price will be $35.
Yeah.
And that's pushing it now.
Yeah.
But $28 for all that, it's a steal.
Yeah, it really is, especially for, such great content as well.
Yeah.
Now, the Carrie one was selling originally like $40, so this seriously is a good deal. You should definitely hop on it, especially you Teen Wolf fans out there. I mean, who doesn't love Teen Wolf?
Yeah.
How can you not? I'm going to go get it. I'm going to order right now. That is a wrap on Slashcast today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Editor, roll that outro. Hey, you. Thanks for watching this episode of Slashcast. If you enjoyed, make sure you drop a like and click that box right down there to check out last week's episode.
Also, if you want to check out the film the fans are calling the best fan film of all time, make sure you click that box right down there to check out our Friday the 13th fan film.
While you're at it, click that circle right there to subscribe to our channel. Never miss a video again.
As always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.